guys, welcome to Overcrest. I'm Kris,
and I'm Jake.
I got a pretty fun episode for you, Jake. Actually,
I'm
gonna give you something to talk about and make fun of me for. Are you ready?
Yeah. Okay.
So you've got your Birkenstocks, right?
Yeah.
If anybody's new to the podcast, Jake wears Birkenstocks even on the plane, in hideous fashion.
In the winter.
However, I wear these sometimes when I drive, but most often just around the house. And these are my absolutely clapped out.
Are those actual
boat shoes.
Sperry's?
They are Sperry Gold Cups.
Gold Cup, not the Topsiders.
It's the Gold Cup Topsider. Anyway, you can make fun of me for wearing boat shoes.
Have you ever
if you want.
actually sailed, Kris?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry to start shooting down on
good.
that one.
This will come
I
up
have
later
sailed
too, by the way, I think.
Oh, yes, absolutely. A little bit. I tried to. Okay. I won't ruin it.
Also, by the way, someone pointed this out in the Discord. Do you know what this is?
Ugh.
This is a German air-cooled footwear.
It is the 912 of footwear. Sure, we'll give you it's the low performance and still somehow counts as being an air-cooled classic car. That's what those shoes remind me of.
All right.
So this is another, I would say, rabbit hole of an episode. I started going through. I was trying to think of, all of the things on a car that you think when a car is cool, what makes it cool. But I'm talking like a stock vehicle, like items on the car. And I don't want to spoil any of them, but it's just features that are on a car that make the car cool. Like if the car has X, it is cool, or it has the potential to be cool.
You can check it off on the list.
And then it just spiraled, just absolutely spiraled out of control into the black hole of research. I'm going to start with this one, and this is I think this one's really fun. And if this goes a little short, I don't think it will. We'll throw some up for Drivers Club after we can talk about.
I'll be sure to argue with you on every step of the way. So
please do.
About that.
Yeah, please do. That's fine. You'll be wrong, and I love being right. So any time where I can be right, I do love. All right, Jake, it was fuzzy. Don't look at the document.
I accidentally looked at this one.
Okay, well,
and then I stopped.
No one else did. It was fuzzy.
Yeah,
neon green.
All you had to say was fuzzy. By the way,
well, that could be anything.
Car accessory that's fuzzy.
I can think of at least two things.
Yeah, but when you say fuzzy, you the immediate. Okay, continue.
You think of the dice that hang from the rearview mirror.
100% fuzzy dice.
Yeah.
Fuzzy dice.
In the 70s, this thing hung off your keys, rearview mirrors of Camaros and Novas.
Yep.
It dangled from belt loops, backpacks, and high school lockers.
Okay.
You perhaps win one at the fair or buy it at a gas station for $1.
Wait,
it was
are we
always
talking
located
fuzzy
between
dice?
the Zippos and the trucker hats. Everyone had one, and everyone thought they knew what it was.
Okay. Oh, I'm glad we're diving into it.
It was just some dumb little thing that you carried around for luck.
Uh-huh.
But like most things that got cheap and neon and mass-produced in America, it didn't start that way.
I like
No. Before it was clipped to a key ring next to a bottle opener or a motel key tag, the rabbit's foot
I was thinking fuzzy dice. See, I didn't even read that
from a darker place. From graveyards, from backwoods crossroads, from the deep south where belief lived in your hands. And power had to be taken. The point is that if you have, I'll get into why this matters later. I'm just going to keep going. I'll get into why.
Basically, it's witchcraft.
Why I'm talking about KJ. It is.
It is sacrilege.
It came from hoodoo.
Do
you know what that is?
Not voodoo.
Not voodoo.
It's hoodoo.
Hoodoo. It's not a religion.
Strain of voodoo.
It was
holistic voodoo. Hoodoo. Now with more essential oils.
No, it's the opposite of that.
Okay.
It's a set of African-American folk spiritual practices rooted in survival, resistance, and connection to the unseen.
Okay.
I did some research and traced it back to the 1600s, where it was brought over by enslaved Americans. It was shaped by the people in the American South thereafter. Hoodoo blends African traditions with Native American medicine and European folk magic.
That's cool.
It's not about worship. It is about power, protection, healing, and justice. It lives in candles, roots, bones, charms, in things you can carry, bury, burn, or wear. Hoodoo isn't something you join, it is something you do. A practical magic for people who had to find power wherever they could. It wasn't about worship, it was about staying alive in a world built to crush you. And the rabbit's foot, it was a charm, but only if it was done right.
Ooh.
Left hind foot only.
Oh.
Killed in a graveyard.
What?
At midnight.
What?
Yes. In a graveyard at midnight. This thing isn't about luck. It is about control, about walking through a world of bad odds with something in your pocket that said, no, not today. But eventually, like everything else weird and sacred in this country, it got washed out, bleached, dyed neon, and sold next to plastic smiley faces and pencil erasers. The sacred became novelty, and the charm became kitsch. Old blues musicians, guys like Blind Lemon Jefferson, Lightnin' Hopkins, and Muddy Waters would carry rabbit's feet in their pockets, stitched into their coat linings or hanging from their guitar cases. Not as a joke or a hobby, as protection. Many believed it brought luck on stage or at dice games or when the road got dangerous. In fact, there was a popular traveling show in the early 1900s called the Rabbit's Foot Minstrels, which launched the careers of dozens of black performers. The name was not random. It meant something to the people who worked that circuit. In 1921, Babe Ruth was given a rabbit's foot by a fan before a game at the Polo Grounds. He hit 2 home runs that day. Newspapers picked it up, ran the story, and by the next week, there were rabbit's feet for sale outside Yankee Stadium.
Wow. Was this
that
the first?
Kicked off?
Okay, so that kicked off like the.
That's what I found. I couldn't find anything earlier than Babe Ruth at Yankee Stadium. Other than that, it was deep in the
this is
African American
like
culture, blues,
obscure type of deal, and all of a sudden now it became part of the cultural.
That's right.
Phenomenon. Right.
It kicked off the flood of rabbit's foot charms in sports culture, baseball players, boxers, and gamblers. Okay. The rabbit's foot hit mass production around the 20s and 30s as it became commercialized. You started seeing them sold as novelty items at carnivals, dime stores, and later, gas stations, especially in the post-war boom of the 1940s and 50s. That's when they took off as good luck charms for soldiers, truckers, teenagers, and basically anyone who liked the idea of carrying luck around with them on their car keys or backpack. We watered it down into taxidermy you could put in your pocket.
Yeah.
Which is honestly kind of cool.
I like knowing the history of it. That's really cool.
Yeah, so, rabbit's feet were on keychains all the time.
Right.
You would see it constantly, especially when I was growing up. But you know what you don't see anymore? Keychains.
Period. Yeah.
Period. You have basically like a little pod or a little bubble or whatever it's called, just like a key fob.
Sure.
The fob, yeah. You have nothing. It's just a little circle, and the one for the Volvo, you can't even put a ring on it. It doesn't fit.
Oh,
it's
really?
You just can't do like a good keychain on it.
So are we getting away from like charms already?
I don't know. I miss the loud, heavy block of metal keys that jangled.
Yeah.
And there was always this representation of the more keys you had, the more powerful you were.
Oh, yeah.
Because you had so many secrets to unlock, right? You had like...
Chris, do you want to know
like the guy with the thing that goes zzz,
yeah,
and he
the
had
janitor.
all the keys?
I
had power.
I have a key lockbox. I have so many keys I can't keep them on a ring. I keep a key that opens the lockbox full of keys. That's pretty cool.
That is cool. See, you've got it. I mean, keys open things that matter, right?
So before we get
into... there's something about being able to hit the button and open the door that just doesn't feel special, right? It doesn't feel special. The key itself
is not a ritual.
You take the key with you. It is part of the car that you carry with you in your pocket. It's very, very, very important.
Physically interfaces. I think that's
it is a
the
totem. Yes, it is a totem of its own. In its own, it's representative of something.
Absolutely.
It starts the car.
Okay. Here's
70s. Go ahead.
Here's what I want to do though, because I feel like we got off of rabbit's feet and like the little like totems or charms or good luck charms.
I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna come back to it.
You are coming back. All right, then go ahead.
Yes. So 70s and 80s was peak keychain culture. Time capsules, proof that someone filled up at a Gulf gas station in 1978. Shell, Texaco, Gulf Mobile, they were usually rubber or plastic, shaped like the logo or a little gas pump. You got them for free with a fill-up or oil change. Or you get the Swiss Army knife that you could put on your keychain.
Yep.
And one that I remember most from my childhood is the monkey fist keychain.
Oh,
have you ever seen these?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what it is?
It's a sailor's knot.
It is a sailor's knot, but you know what it was for? What it existed for?
Well, it was, I originally think the monkey's fist was so you could throw a line up.
Yes, and they would put like a piece of, like a bearing, like a big ball bearing in the middle.
Something in there for weight. Yep. And so
and then you could chuck it, and then it wouldn't like bonk someone if they hit. Like you can't just chuck a metal thing and you kill somebody with it, right?
But then someone died, and they're like, well, there
someone
went
died.
Joe,
So,
our first
but
mate.
In the 70s and 80s, that was a keychain. People were making them constantly, and I remember seeing that on my grandpa's keychain. So I have it around here somewhere. I couldn't find it, which is sad, but
we're already going to tie into this. So I think we're going to compare keys.
Yeah, I have all my keys from all my cars,
that little
which is ridiculous
sailing,
here.
Shackle, that turnbuckle shackle.
Yep.
I have one of those on here.
Why?
Because this I got. Oh boy.
This is your cue that if you're not watching on Spotify or YouTube, you should be.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So I got this in 2005 or 6 because when my freshman year of college, I was so preppy, Chris. I was so preppy, and I just wanted all of the preppiness. So I joined
because you were just commenting last night how high school Jake was really into Under Oath, which is like screamo.
That was like freshman high school, and then I went into like super prep. Yeah, there was.
Gotcha.
There was
you didn't find what you needed in the punk scene.
No,
so.
I didn't. No.
Okay.
So I joined the University of St. Thomas collegiate sailing team, Chris.
Oh,
which
yes.
is probably
that's how you knew what the monkey fist was.
Preppy thing ever. Yeah, I've always liked the idea of sailing, right? Because it's like it's nautical, but it's very rooted in history. It's a skill. It is an actual skill, right? And so I have a lot of stories about sailing. But this came off of a Vanguard 420 racing boat, and it is a jib guy wire shackle. So
that's awesome.
It's kind of a cool, like, a good charm, totem, or keychain should remind you of something or should mean something.
Yes. I have. Do you have more?
I have a lot more.
With you now?
I went down to the lockbox of keys.
Well, let's see it. I want to hear the stories.
So
show me. Tell me some stories.
In the same vein, there is a type of keychain. You don't have to look at the key. You don't have to know anything else. But if I show you this, you know exactly what type of vehicle this keychain belongs to.
Does it float?
It floats.
Yes.
Although,
the float.
So I have also the transom plug on it, which I'm realizing
that's your
heavy.
Emergency transom plug.
Exactly, and you keep it on the keychain. But I'm realizing it's so heavy, I've never actually tried to see if this will keep it afloat. So this might be.
You ever forget to put the transom plug in when you put it in the water? You ever done that on a boat?
That's why I have it right here, so that when I go to put it in the no.
I usually would just have it in the cup holder or whatever. I remember like backing the boat into the water, starting it up, backing it out, and getting next to the thing, and then looking over and seeing the transom plug sitting there. Oh my god! You grab it and you just like I leapt into the water and just like start screwing that thing in. God,
this is such like a I guess fear of mine that I have one on the keychain. I have one like in the cup holder or wherever you're gonna have it, just like the one you actually use. But then on the straps for the trailer, I sewed one onto the strap. So when you go to release the strap, you're literally touching it, and it's a reminder like, oh, right, that.
I cannot impress upon people enough. It's a small hole, half inch, 5/8 hole.
And it fills up
How
quick.
fast? That's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of water pressure, and it fills your bilge up fast. I've done that. Don't do it.
Yes. Do you know what else fills your boat up really, really quickly?
What?
When you no, this isn't an ad. That sounded like it was.
I was going to say. Well, I know. Hold on, I'm not ready.
No, that's literally how I usually introduce ads. No, but when you crack the mast off of a fiberglass Hobie Cat single hull sailboat, because you and your middle school friend Andy Erickson, who you've been friends since 3 years old, go over to his house. His dad's leaving for work. It is like monsoon gale force winds on the St. Croix. It is 40-mile-an-hour winds. It's summer.
Yeah, sounds
We're home
awesome.
from school. And Andy's dad says, before he leaves, he looks at us. He goes, listen, you shitheads, whatever you do not go out on the river. Do not take a boat out. I'm not joking. Don't do it. No, of course, we won't. Okay, bye. As soon as the car leaves out of sight, I don't even think we talked to each other or said anything. We just grabbed, this small little skiff boat and launch it down in the water. And there was one other boat on the river. I remember this because it was a like triple mast, like offshore sailboat. And it had like 12 guys, running lines, and they were cooking out there. And Andy and me, stupid, 13, 14-year-old kids, passed it. We passed it with this little 14-foot single monohull sailboat because you would literally go over the crest of a wave and we'd get air, we'd launch. And so your keel isn't in the water. So the wind would push us. So every time we'd go off a wave,
you get to skip.
And then we were cooking. We were feeling so cool, that we passed this massive racing boat. And all of a sudden, boom! I just clipped everyone's headphones there. Sorry. It sounded like a shotgun went off. And the mast broke the hull. And so we're in the middle of this pretty big Lake St. Croix area, and the boat's filling with water. And we basically, one of us was trying to support the sail while putting your foot in the hole, and the other one was running the rudder, and we just limped it back over. And then he was like, "What am I going to tell my dad?" And then I just left.
Oh, man. This is great. This opens a whole other category of gifts I can purchase for you. Thank you for this knowledge. It's amazing. After almost 500 episodes, I learned something new about you. I didn't know you did sailing stuff.
Yeah.
And you probably didn't know that I'd been sailing. I'm not a sailor, but I have been sailing, and I love. Do you like maritime novels?
I haven't read a maritime novel in probably a really long time. It's not a genre.
Have you seen Master and Commander?
Oh yeah.
That's based on books, a series of books, and they're quite good. They're quite good.
The trepanation.
All right. What else do you have? You have any more?
I do. Okay, so this one I like. This is obviously relevant to our podcast.
That's the prototype.
Yes, this was a really cool aluminum keychain for Overcrest that I don't know who made or you had made or something, but this is on the Overcrest rally van keys right there. Of course.
That's the only one of those that exists. That's it.
There were two, and I don't know where the other one went.
So it's the only one that
now
exists.
Yes, exactly. I showed you that. Oh, the 1964 Chevy C10 was a cool project that my dad and I did. And so for the keychain, I like these leather loop keychains. They're just very simple, obviously.
You made that because we were trying to explore ideas on how to make keychains for you.
Yeah,
guys.
You're right. That's just why we did it. But so this is also a prototype, but I like this one because I handmade it. So that stays on that. And then just to show kind of the bulbous ridiculousness, this is the Porsche Macan key, which
soulless.
We sold the yellow 996 Turbo to get
turn that thing around once, the whole assembly.
And so when you can get the different color matched caps, Chris, you can change these out. So Nikki's like, well, I still want a little vibe of the yellow car, so put those on there.
And you've got the Ludwig's garage keychain.
Did you notice that? Yep.
I did. I saw it. Yep. Okay. Let me go through mine. I'll start with.
This is middle school show and tell. That's literally what this is.
This is fun. Okay, so this is the Trooper. I'm going to sit up here a little bit.
Oh, I know what that is. Yep.
So this is from the first rally we did when we had the guys from that film that we honored. I can't
Duality
remember.
Derby was the
Duality
film.
Derby. Hell and 7 from 7 and 11 or whatever. And then this is the.
Yep, those are really cool.
This is a Mexican hat
keychain.
Keychain from Overcrest. We haven't done a lot of keychains. No. This is something I've had people say, "Hey, where can I get that?" I said, "Well, have you been to the Mexican hat?" And they say no. Then I'm like, "That's why you don't have one."
Right.
Let's see.
I'm glad you had that one because I have that one. I think on the International Scout keys, which are not in the lockbox. So
this is the Scirocco, the Overcrest Freeride Scirocco.
Okay.
This is the whatever thing that it came with. I don't even know what that is. I usually don't take stuff off.
Thing. Really?
If there's something on the keychain. And this is
a whistle.
This is an emergency whistle.
Okay.
Which I thought would be good for someone if they got stranded in the Scirocco while they were on the rally. They could just start blowing.
That was a safety concession. Yeah.
It was a safety concession. Yeah. This is the W124 keys right here. You've got this is the valet key with the red dot on it. It does not open the glove compartment. And then you've got the standard key right here. This is kind of an interesting key for the time. Pretty advanced key. But it's got the Townhouse Motel. I like that. I've got a couple of these. This one I actually took from the hotel itself, and they called me for 3 weeks every day trying to get it back. and I felt really bad.
Yeah.
So but I also didn't want them to know that I stole it, so I just didn't call them back. I actually that's had a good time
Now
with
they
Jesse
know.
in that hotel.
Now they know.
I'm saving that one for last. Okay, this is the driven to death car. This one has this is the first of all, this is the key right here. It says Merc on it.
Yep.
It's the that's the badge that they put on it originally.
Do you still have the other key
that says club?
Yes.
I do.
Okay, good.
This is a kilo key.
Yep.
Which I do not need.
Cut. Not has been
I have not cut. It's just on here. I love
cool.
Jeff. I love Kilo, and I want to support those guys.
Yep.
So I bought the key, and I just have it because I think it's dope, and it's white. It's not like it actually is white. It's not like blown out. Yep. You got a brass one.
The used to be silver.
I found this in the glove compartment of the car, which is
Tiffany. That's cool.
Little Tiffany and Company thing inside the Mercedes. So I put that on there.
Yep.
I've got. Sure. I found this at a little thrift store.
Okay.
Along the way. So this is a lucky dice that I put on there that I consider the lucky dice for the car because it has never stranded me.
Okay.
Ever.
I like it.
It's never stranded me. It like the axle fell off once and I put that back on.
Yep.
But for driving across the country with completely custom carburetors, it did strand me once when the motor blew up. I guess that's a pretty big one. But on the big road trips across the country, those are the velocity stacks and the carburetors for it right there. I've done a lot of dumb things with that car, and in a car that is almost untouched. Every bolt has been touched by me.
Right.
So the fact that it got anywhere is pretty amazing. And this is the last one. This is the 911 keychain. This has the most.
Has a lot of.
This has a lot of things on it. So this is the keychain. Everybody always asks where I got it from, but I'm not going to tell anybody. I just like it.
Good luck, motherfucker. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, that's the keychain. Good luck, motherfucker. Which I see it every time.
Split ring one.
Split ring one. Yep. I've got a little flashlight on there. You got to have that. I don't remember where it's from.
I gave that to you.
Maybe.
No, that was the year we both bought those as gifts for each other.
This is the dog tag from my first puppy that got ran over by a car right in front of my eyes. Oof. Awful, but I keep that on there.
Yep.
It's strange. It's so beat now. It's like you almost can't even read what it is because it's been on there for 10 years.
Yeah.
This is the you can identify this.
Yeah.
This is the rocker adjustment for the rocker that broke, which actually is right over there. This is the rocker arm that broke on, and I had to rebuild the motor the first time.
So that's a reminder not to break the motor again.
Yeah, don't do that. This is this is actually the broken head stud from my first SC engine that I had to rebuild. So it had broken right there.
What is the plunger on the end?
That's the barrel nut.
Oh, cool.
This is the stud, and this is the barrel nut. So I
got it.
Yeah, I welded it on. So it's a whole thing. This is actually really heavy. There's one thing I forgot to mention too. This is on the Mercedes.
Yep.
You mentioned it, and then I got away from it.
Yeah, timing chain link.
This is the timing chain link that somehow you can see right there on the top.
Yeah.
You can see where the clip would be.
Yep.
No, the clip is
that's
right there.
Welding. Okay, yeah,
that clip fell off and it went into the motor somewhere. And then it drove around for a really long time with just the master key holding the chain together with no clip whatsoever, somehow holding it together. So those are all the totems that I've got on all my keychains.
The favorite key, though, on the Mercedes is the quote club key.
Yeah, I don't. It's I can't get up. It's over there.
It's just a mystery key that says club with a little dynamo type. And the question was like, is this like a gentleman's club? Is it?
It is actually it is a physical club, like the
steering
club.
Wheel lock.
I talked to the owner. Yeah. Okay. Like I said, I think I mentioned in another episode.
Less exciting because I was like, ooh, he owned a gentleman's club or something, or it's like lame.
Nope. Oh, this actually is from the Trooper, but I love it so much that I put it on the 911 keychain. The owner of it was a blacksmith.
Oh, yes.
And he made this cool little leaf.
Yep.
It's like this is handmade from iron. And I think it's really pretty.
Knife guy.
No. This is the guy that owned my Trooper before I bought it.
Oh, yes.
It's this beautiful little leaf that he
blacksmithed
really cool. And drew the metal out on his own and pounded it and made it. I think it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah,
it's a really
cool.
special little thing. Anyway, so I love keys. I love keychains, and new cars even your key fob
Yeah.
doesn't look cool with anything on it
No.
because it's not hanging. This stuff
Yeah.
hangs and it jingles on and you can see it all when the key is plugged in, unless you have a sob, which means the key is over by your belt,
I did, and
which
that
is
was
stupid.
really dumb. Yeah.
Stupid. You know what I like to unlock, Jake?
Mysteries.
Lifetime warranties.
Oh,
FCP Euro.
There you go. Okay. Yes, FCP Euro is an online retailer of OE.
Jake, I have too many keys. All of these keys run and are just in my driveway. You know what doesn't have anything on the keychain because the car is cursed? Is the E23 7 Series. It's just a key.
You drove that last night.
I did. Yeah.
Why is it?
It's a key that just goes into the ignition. There's no keychains on it. Nothing.
Well, you need to get a rabbit's foot for that one.
Yeah, no
But
kidding.
only the left foot.
It needs nothing. It's just it's given me kind of a hard time. The ownership has been kind of tough.
Yeah.
So I feel like I don't want to put anything on it because I don't want to claim ownership of it. I feel like when you put something on the keychain, you've kind of claimed like some sort of ownership. Cars that I flipped don't get something.
Interesting.
They don't get like a totem or anything like that. They don't get anything. So
like
that BMW can fuck off. It's not getting anything.
Also for sale.
Soon, yeah.
Hopefully. Yes,
Hopefully.
it probably has a few FCP Euro parts on it as well. And
they're in the trunk. They come with the car. I'm not
better.
putting them on.
There you go.
Yeah.
And FCP Euro, of course, has a lifetime warranty on every single part, including wear items like oil and wiper blades and filters, which is ridiculous. It's amazing, but that just goes to show how serious they are about their warranty. They have over 275,000 unique parts, probably way over that by now. So they really have everything you need for your Volkswagen, Audi, Porsche, Volvo, BMW, all the above. I'm sure there's a lot more as well. If you just click on the drop down,
do you have a garage on there?
I do. Oh yeah,
that's like I have like so many cars on that.
Yeah, and I always love their kits that make it simple. If you have to do an oil change or something, it just comes with everything. You don't have to look up like, oh, do I need that little O-ring or something else that you don't know. Check them out at fcpeuro.com. You get free shipping on anything over $49, and it will probably get to your door within 3 days because they ship from both coasts.
All right, Jacob. Before 1940, these things were really cool. They were weird. They were elegant.
Okay.
They had chrome teardrops mounted like alien eyes on fenders. Everyone did their own thing. Cadillac had a style. Packard had grace. European cars had glass lenses that looked like jewelry.
Yeah.
It wasn't standardized. It wasn't regulated. And that's exactly why.
Damn Nader.
Then, as it always does, the government stepped in. Now, this goes way before Ralph Nader.
Okay.
This is around the same time as the light bulb scam, believe it or not.
Really? Okay.
Which was in the 40s.
Yeah. That's right.
In the 40s, again, the feds working in hand with GE, Westinghouse, and the other lighting cartel boys mandated that all cars sold in the United States had to use a sealed beam headlight. No more individuality, no more sleek design, just a pair of thick glass hockey pucks mounted in place with a chrome ring and a shrug. They sold to the public as a safety measure. Uniform brightness, better night visibility, blah, blah, blah. But what was it? A monopolistic handshake disguised as consumer protection. The lighting companies got to manufacture the same standardized unit for every single car in America, year after year, while stylists and engineers got their creativity gutted in the name of regulation. And once the seal was in place, literally and figuratively, it stuck around for 40 years.
Wow.
You want to know why American cars in the 50s and 60s all started to look the same up front? Blame the sealed beams. You want to know why a 68 Mustang and a 68 Malibu have the exact same twin circles staring at you like a stunned deer? Blame sealed beams. No matter what you were building, you had to slap the same glass saucers on the front and pretend that was good design. Then came those 70s and Ralph Nader, the guy who made it his mission to suck all the fun out of driving. His book, Unsafe at Any Speed, took aim at the Corvair, but the ripple effect hit everything, and Congress listened. Regulations exploded. Safety bumper laws, crash standards, and lighting rules. And anything that was beautiful, dangerous, or even slightly different got regulated into submission. Ralph and the regulators doubled down.
The
sealed beam
regulators.
The inner Warren G. Mr. Producer, do not start playing that. We'll get DMCA'd. Meanwhile, Europe moved on. They had halogen bulbs, composite housings, and headlights that actually lit the road and looked good doing it. But here in the States, you were stuck with those dim-ass yellowing glass bricks that looked like leftover World War II surplus. It wasn't until 1983 that the government finally blinked. That NHTSA, National Highway Traffic Safety Administration jerk faces, allowed composite headlights, basically the kind where you could change the bulb without replacing the whole damn lens. And just like that, the designers were free again. Front ends got sharp. Headlights got slim. Aerodynamics suddenly mattered and style came roaring back. But for 4 long decades, American cars suffered under the same sealed beam yoke. And it wasn't because they were safer. It was just because someone got paid. But here's the thing. As much as sealed beam headlights sucked, they still marked an era, an honest one. They are baked into the face of every American car from the golden age of steel and V8s. They're part of the visual language of cool. You see a pair of round sealed beam headlights today, framed in chrome, flicking on with that solid orange glow. You know what you're looking at. You feel it. It's not good design, but it is real, and it's a timestamp. A middle finger in glass to the plastic sameness that came later. And in a way, I love them for it. Right before I swapped them out for European H4s. And you know what's funny about this period of time is when I was growing up, even though you pretty much had 4 seal beam headlights. You had the 5-inch and like the 7 or 8-inch round headlights.
Yep.
So you had those two. Usually the smaller ones were doubled up, like on an E30 or the Scirocco, for example, or a Datsun, like a 510. Yep. You had the quads, and then you had the quad square version of that, like a later Scirocco would have the 4 square headlights.
Sure.
Or a Jetta would have 1.
Yep.
They had 2 as well.
Yep.
They had, high beam, low beam.
Yep.
And then you would have the bigger dual high beam, low beam squares and the dual high beam, low beam circles that were like 8-inch or whatever.
Yes.
What's interesting about this is when you were growing up, you might be too young for this because you didn't see it as much as I did. But even though they were sealed beam headlights, you could still tell what the car was. Yeah. Even though they were all identical size, identical shape, but you could tell just by the layout from the blinkers and the headlight and the distance they were from each other.
And some of the
you
reflecting.
Could see, and you'd be like, oh, that's a Rabbit, or oh, that's an E30, or oh, that's a whatever. It was really, really, it was really interesting.
Yeah, I loved playing that game, on road trips where you're in the back seat and you look at the car oncoming and go, all right, that's something. And you gotta wait and go, oh, yeah, I got it.
You didn't just look it up on your iPad?
No, turns out I didn't.
You know what you should look up on your iPad, Jake?
Tell me.
Nokian Tire.
That's right. Nokian Tire, the inventor of the winter tire with their Hakkapeliitta. They also now have their newest tire, the AS01 Surpass, which is a performance tire that is also all season. You don't have to compromise by having all season security and traction without, the performance that comes along with a dedicated high performance tire. Check them out. NokianTire.com/surpass to find out more about that. Of course, they also have their warranties in place. Pothole protection warranty lets you actually exchange out a tire if you hit a road hazard that damages the tire, as well as the 30-day guarantee for your satisfaction. If you don't like it after a month of driving, send them back.
You know what's funny is I made this list and I was like, oh, we'll do it as like a 5-minute intro and then we'll talk about some news. Another thing that when you look at it, this is basically, if the car has this, it's cool, right? We're still in that. Like if it had seal beams, headlights, it's probably cool at this point.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Another one, the external hood latch.
Ooh.
The external hood latch, which was amazing at car shows. Hey, what you got under there? You just reach over, boom, and you just pull the hood. You don't have to hold on. You got to like go around the car, open door, reach under, pull the cord. Volkswagen Rabbits had these.
Oh, really?
Jeep CJ7s. Yeah, the early Rabbits had like a 1980 and earlier.
There was no release inside.
Well, there was, but it was an option. Land Rover Series 3, Triumph Spitfire, International Scout 800s. This is something that must have went away. I don't know why this went away.
Well, it's security.
Probably just
anyone could
well, security for
open the
what?
hood.
And what? Do what? Like just steal your spark plug wires? Sabotage? Like adjust your points for you? Like what are they doing? Hey, this thing runs way better than it used to.
My valves are all adjusted somehow. Those damn criminals.
How dare they?
I don't know, but battery. They could steal your battery, Chris. That's
they
probably
could steal your battery.
the most common underhood theft, I guess.
I guess.
Yeah, 64 C10 had it. The 65 Scout, of course, has it. Jeeps up until, gosh, I think the JK, the most recent Wrangler, had just the plastic latches on the hood. Like you didn't even.
Do you know what's up with the stupid ducks?
The ducks.
The ducks in the Jeeps. You ever like?
I have seen this.
They're all over the dash. What is
seen
going
one
on
or
with
two
the
cars
ducks?
With that, I have no idea.
I feel like we need to look that up because I don't know.
So
if anybody knows what's up with the ducks, please let us know. I don't want to just Google it.
That kind of goes with this whole episode, right? The duck thing is okay. Well, it's just accessories that tell you if a car is cool or not. That's not cool, right? Oh,
Jeep ducking is the act of placing a rubber duck in another Jeep, usually with a note attached. It is a friendly gesture that is meant to make Jeep owners smile.
So you,
but so it's
dumb.
like,
so you carry
so
them
it's
around
basically
with you
a
and
Ross.
Like,
And okay,
and you can buy different ones. That's dumb. That's dumb.
So then all you're doing by having all those on your dash is bragging about how cool your Jeep is because other Jeep owners have given you a duck. It's almost like the beads. Like if you have a lot of beads, you have great tits at the thing, at the Mardi Gras.
Okay.
This is
I don't think it's a level of quality though, Chris. I think it's just a level of willingness, right?
You would have true. That's true. Yeah. But if they're great and willing, you have a lot of beads, right? You have a lot of beads. This is kind of like the Jeep version of that. If you got a lot of ducks, some other dude really loves your Jeep.
Yeah.
All right, Jake. There was a time when. Okay,
can I talk about one more thing that I'm sure is not on your list that is very, very stupid and not makes your car cool? That is an accessory that is ubiquitous.
Okay.
And there's a whole history episode that's on my list to dive into this because there is a weird history on this. Truck nuts.
Ooh, there is a truck nut episode.
Automotive phenomenon ever.
The worst. Let me see if I can think of. Yeah, it's not great.
No,
I can think of a lot of dumb things, but nothing that's just quite as offensive as truck nuts.
Right. It's like nothing says I don't have any taste. As
like
much as
truck
that.
nuts.
Yeah.
There they are. Jeez, look at that one's got the chain and everything on his Nissan too. We should save that for a driver's club.
Okay. Yeah.
Save that for a driver. Speaking of the driver's club
story, Drivers Club for as little as $5 a month, you too can get access to exclusive content such as the upcoming Truck Nuts episode. There are a whole back catalog. Of his
whole back catalog of stuff. We got
exclusive
episodes exclusive with John Ludwig every month now. You want to come here? John and I talk about cars. Sign up for the Drivers Club. It's $5, guys. That's it.
There's also
don't be a freeloader
for those that are feeling more supportive.
We appreciate you very much. Special little badge on the Discord. Special little chat.
Yes.
I chat most in the Drivers Club.
Do you know
where I hang out most?
We are sending out something to all active Discord or Drivers Club members.
Have you aggregated the list yet?
I've compiled the list, Chris. It is
Okay.
compiled
Well, if anyone else joins up, we'll in the next we'll give it I don't know what
we don't have
30
that many
days?
extra though either.
How many extra do we have?
Maybe 20.
Okay, the next 20 people that sign up can have one.
I said maybe. I'd have
After
to check the spreadsheet.
the next
however many we have. Yeah, something very cool.
All right. There was a time when air conditioning was not standard.
No, certainly not.
It wasn't even expected.
Ooh.
You didn't need a compressor and a Freon leak to feel the wind. You had
wing windows.
Wing windows, Jake. Vent windows. Little triangles of freedom.
The swamp cooler accessory.
Little triangles of freedom that cracked open with a flick of the wrist and caught the breeze just right.
Yep.
They didn't blow air in your face. They channeled it perfectly, efficiently, and without noise. Smokers love them.
Yeah.
So did dogs. And anyone who ever drove with the windows down and music up on a summer night. There was a time where I had a little puppers named Penny, and I had the rabbit pickup truck, and we had vent windows in the rabbit pickup truck.
Yep.
And she's a border collie.
Oh,
They're very smart. It is the smartest breed of dog. And I was at Best Buy. I don't know what I was buying, but the whole car was shut. All the windows are shut.
Yep.
And I go into Best Buy, and all of a sudden, I'm at Best Buy shopping, and there's my dog.
It just came inside to join you.
The dog followed me in. Must use her paw, nose, whatever, opened the vent window and squeezed her ass out of the car, walked through the automatic doors at Best Buy, and found me in Best Buy.
Oh, that's
just
amazing.
like, hey, what's up?
I like that.
What's up?
Story.
How you
Were
doing?
like,
seriously, I was like,
sir,
what the fuck?
You can't have your dog in here.
Because she must have like moved the lever up.
Yeah.
And then pushed the thing open and crawled out. It was unbelievable. Of course, then you also had pop-out windows in the back.
Oh, yeah.
Especially on two doors and wagons.
Yeah.
Another little slice of engineering. Push a button, crank them out, and suddenly the whole cabin breathed. No motor, no relay, just a latch, a hinge, and a reason to go for a drive.
One reason I love our early 911s is because they have the rear pop-outs. And
we don't have the
difference.
front ones, but
no.
I always loved. I have them in the truck, and it's great because in the summertime you're wearing shorts.
Mm-hmm.
You can just direct the air right up your truck nuts, and you're dialed in.
Your real truck nuts, the authentic.
Yeah. So I like on road trips and stuff, I would always have like a water bottle.
Yeah.
And I would just like dump water all over my lap. And then you would just direct the air, and the evaporation is a cooling process. It would just get you all dialed in. Just blow right up your shorts, and it's like a swamp cooler, but on your body. It's fantastic.
Yes.
And you can't talk about any of this without mentioning rain gutters.
Ooh, yeah.
And no one is. You probably didn't even think about this, but they're gone.
Oh, yeah.
They ran along the roof line like trim. They were more than just trim. They worked. They pulled rain away from your window. They let you crack it open in the middle of a storm without getting soaked.
Yep.
Rain gutters were mechanical, functional. No nonsense. Now, try finding any of these on a modern car. Wing windows disappeared in the late 70s. Pop-outs died in the 80s. Rain gutters were shaved off for aerodynamics and noise regulations. Everything's smoothed over in the name of efficiency. Now it's all flush glass and rubber seals and so much plastic. You don't even open a window anymore. You push a button, or you just push a button and wait for the servo to groan its way down. You know what you hear then?
The buffeting is so terrible. So bad.
Because there's no aerodynamics, and the cars are so well sealed.
Yeah. That it can't.
It just again. Let's talk about window cranks. Manual ones with the little plastic knob, the kind you want to touch and reach for. You knew just how far to turn them by feel. You could close your eyes and crank it over, and you knew exactly how far down the window was.
Let me ask you something. If you come up to a stoplight and you want to talk to the guy next to you, what do? Right.
You do this.
You
don't go.
Do you think people even know that anymore? Like Gen Zers, would they just be like, roll down your window?
Yeah, they just probably point down.
Because I don't think anyone would know what the hell this even means. They'd be like, what are you doing? You're drawing a circle.
It's funny, the Mercedes is so efficient with the window crank. You go like 1.5 turns and it's all the way down.
Really?
It's super
must
you just
be
go
really well like
engineered and greased and everything else.
Very bound.
Most cores are a quarter crank for a little breeze, full rotation for max flow, no motor, no relay, just a switch, just gears, leverage, and your hand. But now the world just thinks you're poor if you have to roll your window down. Like the crank is beneath us. Like touching your own car is somehow offensive.
I remember probably the 90s when like this became ubiquitous and you couldn't get, because it used to be like power windows were an option, right? That's how it first came around. And I remember it was my dad or who it was saying, well, like, the bad thing about power windows, what happens if like your car goes through the ice in the river, your electronics going to stop. How can you get out? You can't roll your window down. It's a safety nightmare.
You know what is funny, though? Your windows would continue to work just fine.
You think so?
All the power in your car is probably going to work still.
Yeah, I always
for the amount of time.
Like people were like, wow, everything's so complicated. These power windows. Why can't you just roll it down? It's not.
You're supposed to wait until the car starts to fill up with water before you open the door anyway. You start rolling the window down, the water's just going to come rushing in.
Yeah.
You're going to lose control of yourself.
Yeah. What you want to do is open the sunroof while it's still like bobbing and then climb out that way.
And then climb out the sunroof.
Yeah. Or, if you're driving on ice, they actually recommend you actually have your windows down. So when you start to go through, you can just pop out. You don't have to wait for the pressure to equalize. Anyways,
You know,
continue.
Jake, I do not smoke. I mean, most of us don't because it is disgusting.
Okay.
But I'll be damned if the death of the ashtray
Yes.
didn't take a chunk of soul with it. If your car has an
100%.
ashtray, it's probably cool. Ashtrays were everywhere. Dash mounted, console mounted, sometimes hidden in the back of the seat or tucked into the door like a little secret.
Yep.
You'd slide it open with one finger. Click. And there it was, half full of cigarette butts, toothpicks, quarters. Sometimes it rattled. Sometimes it was lined in chrome. Sometimes it even lit up.
Do you know?
They were not. Go ahead.
Do you know what I found in the 911 when I first cleaned it out and bought it? First day, a joint in the ashtray. Probably
roach,
from like 1979 or something. I loved it. And also, a lot of German cars still potentially offer the option because it's
you can still have it.
Smoke.
Because they're
what's
disgusting.
funny, the Macan, they designed the center console like with the ashtray in it, but for US market, they never put it in. So you literally had like this vacuous hole. Like it was supposed to be just
That's because Americans literally see it as disgusting.
Yes, but I went and ordered the like German European only ashtray because it looks so much better because it has the flap
just because that's how it was supposed to be. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's how it's supposed to be. Ashtrays are not just for smokers, though, Jake. They were for living in your car, for the gum wrapper you didn't want flying around, for that gas receipt, for the crusty little fuse you pulled on the side of the road in the dark. The ashtray was a tray for life. But as lawsuits piled up and public health campaigns went full scorched earth on smoking in the late 90s, car company, there's no ashtray in my 911. It rattled so much, so I took it off. It's just a hole. Yeah, I just took
That's
it off.
your 911R spec now. That's what they did.
Exactly. You got to cut that weight.
Except
suddenly, ashtray wasn't a feature. It was a marketing liability. The smoker's package became optional. Then it became rare. And then it disappeared completely. And just like that, a whole generation of cars lost another touch point with the driver. Another piece of functionality gone. Now you get a little cubby with a little USB port and a spring-loaded lid that breaks in 3 years. The lighter socket is called power outlet. And the ashtray, it's just missing another empty space where personality used to be. You want to know if a car has character? Check the dash for an ashtray. If it's got one and it's low mileage, there's a good chance it belongs on Bring a Trailer.
I like that. Yeah.
All right. Tell me a little bit about Petrol Box, Jake.
Yes. Petrol Box is a monthly.
Dude, this is great. I'm having so much fun, man.
Thank you for putting this together.
We are planning 6 events this year. I'm now the chief editor over at Petrolicious, so I've got tons of work over there.
Yeah.
And got the podcast to do. This is kind of like this little bubble where I get to come and just hang out. And I really, it's a lot of work to put this stuff together.
Yes.
But I do enjoy hanging out. I just want to say that. I'm having a lot of fun.
Enjoy it as well.
Yes. Hey, if you like this podcast, can you please tell someone? No, don't tell us.
No, but I'm saying let us know by leaving like a review on iTunes or Spotify or something. That's still a thing, right?
What really matters to me is that you guys spread the word. Share this. This episode's fun. Please share it with someone. Send it to someone that you think might like it. Send it to 10 people you might like.
Yes.
Just if you have 10 friends, send it to all 10. If you're lucky enough to have more than that or less, probably lucky enough to have less friends than that, send it to them too. All right, sorry, continue on.
No, okay, before we move on from the ashtray, do you know what is more disgusting in my mind and more what's less cool? What is a term for more less cool? Just worse than smoking? Vaping.
In a car?
Vaping.
Oh.
Did we went to a concert last night. Did you see how many people, like half of the people were vaping?
A lot of people vape. They just do. It's
just so uncool that I'm going to tell you something, Chris.
Uh-oh.
It's kind of private. But I got sucked into the vape trap probably like 3 years ago. And in order to quit, I literally started smoking because it was so much like it was at least then I have some self-worth.
I'm so disgusted with you right now.
Yeah. Well, I stopped it, but like that was peak stress for Jake. And so literally I was like, well, in order to start vaping, I'm just going to smoke because at least that's not as lame. Fuck vaping.
Well, now it's all about that
damn
Zen,
cigarette
right?
and be a man.
Be a real man.
Terrible. That's so terrible.
Be a real man. Oh man. Tell me about Petrol Box.
Petrol Box is your
kill yourself like a man.
Yes, 100%.
Get cancer like every other man.
Dignity, god damn it.
Eat some red meat. Don't bend at the knees.
Break your back like we're supposed to. petrol box, you don't have to break your back for, or the bank, Chris. Do you like what I did there? Because for as little as $19.95 per month, you get an awesome curated selection, a surprise, a gift in the mail made specifically for the automotive enthusiast. You get publications, detailing supplies, garage gear, stickers, tools. You get like all sorts of awesome stuff that you generally end up using and going, that's really cool that I got that. I wouldn't have might have, like, maybe I didn't buy that otherwise at the hardware store, but I'm glad I got to try that out. Check it out at mypetrolbox.com.
All right. Jake, interiors used to be so soft, so thick, so substantial. They gave a little when you sat down, like the car was inviting you in.
Like the big
didn't squeak.
Sofa coat.
It just wrapped you in silence and kept you there. It had presence. It was the difference between transportation and a place you wanted to be. They had velour, Jake.
Yes.
Velour.
Yes.
Velour is like shag carpet for your car.
What is the chair that you're sitting on right now, Chris?
Velour.
Yeah. Okay.
It literally is velour.
Make sure.
Yeah. Jake, have you ever laid naked on a shag carpet?
No, definitely have not.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. The same vibe, same energy. You don't sit on it, you sit in it.
Isn't there like a famous like Playgirl ad where it's the big hairy dude from the 70s, Reynolds? What's his name? Who's Smokey and the Bandit? What's his name?
I thought all I can think of is Bruce Jenner.
Who's Smokey and the Bandit guy?
Oh,
he's just laying naked on a shag carpet.
I'm really bad with names. I can see him in my face.
Mr.
Let's
Producer,
be honest.
You can find that ad if it's PC enough, but Smokey and the Bandit, like naked dude on the carpet, is exactly what.
Let's be honest, Jake.
Yeah.
This is what's important here. It is a lot easier to convince a girl to take her pants off when the seats are soft velour than vinyl. You're not sliding around. You're sinking into the situation, which brings us to the bench seat.
Yes. Okay. Yes. I like where that's going. I feel like the velour doesn't get clean, though. It's like there's always going to be something there.
It's all right.
Can't wipe it down.
Sure you can. Sure you can. A whole front row of uninterrupted opportunity. The bench seat. Yes, Jake. That opportunity.
Oh my God.
No dad in his right mind is okay with a girl getting into a car with a bench seat. There's no console, no armrest, and no separation. Just one wide pillowy declaration of closeness.
Oh my God. There he is.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Her
leg against yours. Your hand somewhere it probably shouldn't be while the V8 hums along like it's on the plan. The bench seat. They weren't about ergonomics. They were about connection. And now they're gone.
Yeah.
We've lost a whole era of dates, kisses, confessions, fights, makeup sex, long stretches of silence with the hum of the motor doing the talking. Now the damn things isolate you, wrap you in airbags and distractions, and shove a center console between you and the missus like a chaperone. Yeah. Look, I'm not saying every car needs to be a rolling motel room, but it wouldn't hurt.
But
I don't know about you, Jake, but
you remember being in high school.
We had a Mercury Grand Marquis with a bench seat.
Okay.
Many fun times were had. Many. We lived in this neighborhood, and there's this little gravel path that somehow went behind this patch of trees and then just stopped. Pull that Grand Marquis back there. It is so hard to have sex in a car now. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? I was in the Volvo the other day.
I'm an adult. I don't attempt to do these things anymore.
I was in the Volvo the other day.
I'm sure you were.
And I'm trying to climb over this stupid center console
You have a home. You are an adult.
I do. I just wanted to have a little bit of fun, and I don't think anybody's going to fault me for that. And it was so ridiculous that all Jesse did is start laughing at me. I just looked stupid.
Love that. Yes, 100%.
It just looked stupid. And then I tried it in the Mercedes, and I'll actually.
Oh no!
I should pull up the photo.
Don't say all actually with that context.
What? What do you mean?
I don't know. I'll pull up the photo of our successfully, making
consummated
contact. Yeah. No. No.
It's not what you think.
Okay.
Anyway, it just ended up being a picture of me sitting on Jesse's lap with smiles on our faces because it was freaking impossible. Such a bummer. You know, the bench, bring back the bench seat and improve the relationships of everyone. I don't see
divorce
why
rates.
it ever
When did
disappeared.
divorce rates climb?
It's got to be correlative.
Whole 100%. There's correlation there. I would believe it.
Yes. I'll send this picture to Mr. Producer. He can insert it in. It's PG. It's PG.
Okay.
He can insert it in.
I like that.
We were in the car wash.
The decline of family values was due to the lack of the bench seat, Chris. 100%.
There was a time, Jake, also, when cars wore crowns. Not plastic badges, not smooth emblems glued on with double-sided tape. I'm talking about the real deal.
Ornament.
The cast metal hood ornament, bolted to the nose like a declaration, like a war banner. Like the car is leading a charge. And I know you don't like the one on the Mercedes.
No.
I don't care. I like hood ornaments.
I like the
It's not a badge.
of it.
It's not a logo. Sometimes it's a logo, but not really. It's not a flattened sticker glued on by some cost-cutting brand manager. I'm talking about a sculpture. A cast metal statement that said, this machine has a soul, and it goes along, and it goes that way.
Look at
All right,
that.
I think I have an unstable connection right now.
Okay.
Hold on.
I was going to ask you, what is the most perhaps famous? There's literally a name for this hood ornament. Can you name it? And it is the most high end of hood ornaments.
What hood ornament? Which one?
The Spirit of Ecstasy.
Oh, yeah. Rolls Royce.
Yep.
That's Rolls Royce. It's the arms back with the dress flowing.
Yes.
In the wind. Yes. You also had leaping cats, like one stalking across the hoods of classic Jaguars.
Yep.
Chrome stretched, mid pounce. Flying ladies like the Spirit of Ecstasy. Standing lions.
Yes.
Think Peugeot, their heraldic beast planted on the nose like it owned the road. Birds in flight. Packards, graceful swans, Duesenbergs, eagles, even Pontiacs, translucent, illuminated chiefs. Arrows from the Pierce arrow. And of course, with its literal arrowhead piercing through a ring. That's the Pierce arrow. My connection's getting weird, so it's distracting me.
You're good.
I apologize.
Did you talk
Daggers.
about the origin? Do you go into the origin of the hood ornament?
I would love to. If you can give that to me, I'd love that.
Okay. So the hood ornament was not ornamental at first at all. Where is it on top?
It's a radiator cap.
Exactly. And it is a radiator gauge. That is your temperature gauge on an old.
It would have had like mercury in it or something,
Model T.
like a little.
Yep. And so you'd be able to see your little round gauge up front, literally on top of the radiator, which would stick out above the hood. And of course, brands got smart and they go, well, we can put Ford on top of it or something like that. And then it just kind of, it went from there and turned into a branding exercise and something that is more evocative.
But they weren't just branding, Jake.
No, you're right.
They were identity.
Yes.
For the car.
Yes.
And for you as the owner. And they were beautiful. Designed by actual artists, not CAD monkeys.
There it is.
You'd walk up to the car. There it is. That's it. You'd walk up to the car, and the first thing you'd see before the grill, before the paint, before the curves, before the headlights was that ornament.
Unless 16-year-old Chris had a 5-gallon bucket with him.
I did. I used to steal those. Yeah. Then they were gone.
Yep.
First, they made them optional. Then they shrank them. Then they tucked them into the grills. And eventually, they just flattened them into shiny, meaningless ovals. Why? Pedestrian crash regulations.
Oh.
God forbid someone trip over a Mercury 8 and catch a chrome swan to the scrotum.
Yeah, that would hurt.
That would hurt. Now you want a hood ornament? You have to buy a Bentley or a Rolls, and even those retract into the hood like they're ashamed of being beautiful.
No, it's pretty cool that they do that, let's be honest.
But you see a real one out in the wild, like in the nose of a 48 Cadillac or Chrysler 300 with the wings out front?
Yeah.
That's a car that's going somewhere. It's leading. From a time when designers weren't afraid to stand out. When a car's first impression wasn't a grill or a badge, it was the figurehead saying, "Follow me."
I like that.
And then I ran out of time and took a shower, fell asleep in the shower, and here we are.
And that's it.
That's it. That's all I got. There's. Do you have any that I forgot? Is there anything that you think should be on here?
Oh man. I mean, there has to be a ton of them. There's a lot of like little attributes, I guess you'd call them, that are more
If it has AM on the radio, like you switch to AM,
Well,
that's
even
like
modern cars, you can switch to AM through your little touch
you
screen.
can't you?
Yeah. I think it's the other way.
The AM antenna sucks,
if you
though.
can't get FM, then you know it's an old car. Like that damn
Yeah, there you
84
go.
Escort. Literally only had AM radio. Do you know that? Literally
No, I
only
didn't
had
know that.
AM radio. Well, you didn't opt for the FM radio, you know.
What was that video called that we did? What was that film called?
The best of the
How to have fun driving almost anything. The best of the worst.
Yeah.
Go look that up on YouTube. It's a lot of fun. Stuck Jake with an 84 Escort.
With
I thought
AM
you'd be a little more
only radio.
And me on the CB to talk to.
Yes, that was okay. But
see,
it was an automatic. It was it was pristine but abysmal.
It was. I think I got like $6,500 for it on Brake
for
Trailer.
An 84 Escort in baby blue.
It was mint, though.
God, it was totally mint. Yeah,
Oh, dude, I'm over here in the midst of getting the garage packed up. What a nightmare.
Oh, I still haven't unpacked my garage, as you know.
I'm doing the massive purge. I had a guy come over to buy. What did he buy?
You had,
CB
the
radio.
Euroworks
Consequently,
stuff, too.
Yep. Consequently, one of the CB radios from that film.
Oh,
I sold it.
Yeah.
Because we never ended up using that one.
I returned mine.
I sold it to the guy. I got $80 for it. Whatever. And it was this Liberian guy, and his business is filling up a shipping container of shit, sending the shipping container to Liberia, and then reselling everything, American electronics and goods there at a markup.
Weird.
So I let him walk around the garage and just pick stuff.
What else do you want?
Air compressor, another CB radio,
wow.
Air conditioners, like all this stuff. I'm like, dude, yes. Just give me the money. This saves me so much. I don't care. 50% off, 75% off, fire sale. Go. Send it over there. Some Liberian guy needs this air conditioning unit more than I do anyway. It's not that hot here. Get out of here. Go. So I feel like I'm getting there. Yeah. I'm getting there. I feel like I've made a dent. All the chemicals are in bins. I feel like I'm finally making some progress. Haven't found the house yet.
Well,
but you know what the problem is? Here's the problem.
What's that?
Needing a garage. That is the problem.
Yes.
Needing a garage is the issue.
Yeah.
With finding a house for anyone listening to this podcast and me. You can find a ton of cool houses with a 2-car garage. Tons.
Well,
there's tons.
Yeah.
They're all
you
over
need
the place.
The budget in there and the space to build a garage.
To build one.
But that's still it's going to take
takes
a
time.
year. Right. And what are you going to do with everything in the meantime?
Yeah, it's going to it might be like if I close now and moved in now, I could maybe have a garage built by the end of the summer, but probably not. It's probably just going to be a concrete slab on the ground.
Yeah.
By the time fall rolls around.
Yep.
So it's I'm okay with waiting. I could be patient, but I can't find anything. It's a nightmare. Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun at all. But it's been kind of cool packing up the garage and seeing some old stuff that's been buried or whatever. And
yeah, either way, it's good to go through stuff, I think.
Yes, I have too much stuff. I've collected too many things. I pull like Guibo joints out of a box. I'm like, I don't even know what these are for. Like what are these even for? And they're expensive. I've got all these parts that are. I've got new trailing arm bushings for the 911 that I bought like 7 years ago that I still haven't even put in.
Those in. Yeah, no.
Yeah, because I helped you and it sucked. It made me go, I'm never doing this.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
They don't look like they're bad yet, so I think I'm all right.
You know what you can do is rotate them too, because all the weight is on one side.
Yeah, that buys you a little extra bit of extra time. All right, guys, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed hanging out with us. Hope you agree with everything I said because I'm always right. And you said you were going to fight and argue with me the whole time, and you agreed with me.
I just had too much fun
the entire time.
I know it's I couldn't even be cantankerous and obstinate because we were just having too much fun.
Guys, we will see you next week.
Take care.
You.